You won't believe the creatures that haunt South American legends, monsters so strange and terrifying that people still whisper about them today. Forget werewolves and vampires, because once you hear about these 10 mythical animals, you'll never look at the jungle, rivers, or mountains the same way again. Imagine walking through the rainforest at night. The air is heavy, the insects are deafening, and suddenly you hear a cry. Half human, half beast. That sound? It could only be El Lobizón. This cursed figure is said to be the seventh son in a family, doomed to transform into a werewolf-like monster on Tuesdays and Fridays. By day, he's frail and pitiful, but when darkness falls, his body twists into a predator. The fear ran so deep in Argentina that governments once had to step in with special programs to calm families terrified of birthing a seventh son. Creepy, right? But monsters don't just walk the ground, they fly. High in the Andean skies, villagers speak of the Chonchón. And trust me, you don't want to see it. Why? Because this bird isn't really a bird at all. It's the severed head of a sorcerer, sprouting wings from its ears and shrieking omens of death. Locals say if you hear the Chonchón at night, tragedy is about to strike. One sound, and suddenly you're living on borrowed time. And if you think staying near water keeps you safe, think again. Meet El Yakumama, the mother of waters. This serpent isn't just big. It's said to stretch over 100 feet long, swallowing boats whole. People traveling the Amazon would blow into conch shells before entering new rivers, believing the sound might scare it away. Just picture it, a creature so massive that the river itself hides its coils. Would you set foot in that water? But not all dangers look monstrous. Some come disguised as beauty. In Brazil, locals warn of the Boto Cor-de-Rosa, the Amazon's pink river dolphin. By day, it's playful and harmless. But by night, it's a shapeshifter in human form, a handsome man in white who lures women with charm and music. Many tales of sudden pregnancies or vanished lovers were blamed on this dolphin man. It's a legend so powerful that even today, some families still warn their daughters not to wander near the riverbanks at night. Of course, greed has its own punishment. In Chile, miners speak of the Alicanto, a glowing bird that feeds on gold and silver. If you follow it, well, it might lead you to riches, or straight into a deadly trap. If your heart is pure, you might find treasure. If not, the Alicanto tricks you, guiding you into cliffs and deserts from which no miner ever returns. A bird that tests your soul, golden wings, hiding a deadly choice. But the deserts and mountains aren't free of darker creatures. In Patagonia slithers El Culebrón, a grotesque serpent with the head of a calf. It's said to grant wealth or power to those willing to feed it offerings. Animals, or worse, humans. People whispered about disappearances in the night, always pointing to this unholy bargain. A monster that doesn't just take lives, it trades them for greed. And sometimes evil comes on 4 legs. In Central and South America roams El Cadejo, a spectral dog. But here's the twist, there are 2 of them, one white, one black. The white Cadejo protects lonely travelers, guiding them home safely. The black Cadejo? It stalks drunks and the lost, dragging them into despair or death. 2 spirits, one savior and one executioner. But on a dark night, how do you know which one's watching you? Deeper in the jungle lurks the Mapinguari. Now, this one's nightmare fuel. Imagine, if you will, a giant sloth, but twisted, standing like a man, with claws sharp enough to cut down trees. Some folks say it has one eye in its forehead. Others claim its mouth gapes from its stomach. The stench of rotting flesh follows it, and bullets, useless. They just, bounce off its hide. Hunters whisper that the Mapinguari might be a living fossil, a survivor from prehistoric times. Real or legend, one thing's clear. You don't want to meet it alone. But rivers hold even more terrors. The Monyai, from Guarani lore, is a serpent-like water spirit with whip-like arms. It hypnotizes its victims, fishermen, travelers, even children, before dragging them into the depths. Families warned their children never to play near the riverbanks alone. Because once the Monyai's grip takes hold, there's just, no escape. And finally, the most haunting of all, La Llorona. Her cries echo across South America, chilling anyone who hears them. Her story? A woman who drowned her children in despair, cursed to wander riversides for eternity, weeping for the souls she lost. Some say she drags those who hear her into the water to share her fate. Others call her a tragic warning against grief and guilt. But one thing's for sure. If you hear her wails in the night, you'll never forget them. These aren't just scary stories. Each creature is a reflection of the land and the people. Warnings against greed, against carelessness, against disrespecting nature's power. And maybe that's why these legends still live today. Because even in our modern world, there's something in us that needs to believe that the shadows are still alive and that we're never truly safe when the night falls in South America.